By the way, what has this stream come to now? Because I've already just finished up what I was doing. Almost like 3 hours in. By the way, I might as well split this up into like a two-parter, a stream, or whatever. You know what? I've been thinking of doing that right now. Oh, sorry about that. Hey, welcome back to this live stream here. It's probably my 5th one that I've ever done. Well, as you just heard in that particular live stream that I did the last time I did it, like probably like I think it was like last week or so, that I mentioned that I might be doing a two-parter or something because of the length of this thing. Oh, I'm hearing my stream going up too. But yeah, I think this is kind of like a two-parter because you know, I just realized when I rewatched the live replay of this stream, I realized the audio for this video was muted, and I guess I probably muted it under OBS and not YouTube, so that's probably why. So I forgot to unmute the audio when I went out to do a BRB, and when I came back, I forgot to unmute it. So that's kind of why I had to redo this whole thing. But either way, we're back here once again, taking a look at the Molar Mac video from the Computer Clan. So if you don't know about the Molar Mac, basically, so I'll show you a picture here. This is the Power Macintosh G3 All-in-One, or as he likes to call it, or everyone likes to call it, the Molar Mac. Because yeah, well, it's shaped like a giant tooth. It's heavy. It weighs about like 59 pounds. Round that up, that's 60. This is the heaviest heaviest Mac computer that's ever made. Plus, it does look kind of ugly. If people can see it that way. But you know, beauty is subjective, as he mentions. But you know, but this is what it looks like. It's the last. This is one of the last Macs released before the iMac. You know, the iMac came out in like. It came out in 1998, unveiled in May 6th, which is exactly like 27 years on this day. The computers wouldn't actually go on sale until August, though, but you know. And this thing only lasted for like a few months, almost close to 9 months. So this thing was discontinued sometime in early 1999, replaced with the Power Macintosh G3 Blue and White, which is a tower model. But if you haven't seen my live stream, or if you haven't seen the video from the original video from the Computer Clan, go watch those. They'll probably give you more context than this TLDR type thingery that I try to do as best as I can. But anyways, we're gonna get into like the near the end sections here, because this is the part that I kind of muted on and seemed to forgot to unmute it. But anyways, I'm gonna zoom in here, turn on closed captioning, because yes, I can, and let's just rewatch this clip ourselves, this time with audio. So I've already done my BRB, so let's get back to this video. I already got my water on me, I'm already prepared, so yeah, we're back everyone. So let's rewatch the video.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to let you know that I have a Patreon with tons of awesome perks. So if you'd like to support me and get some great stuff in return, head over to patreon.com/crazyken. Thank you.
You know, by the way, about the Patreon thing, I used to be a Patreon supporter back then, cause like, you guys may not know this, but I used to be a Patreon supporter for a short time, because I had the money back then, and I had the $5. I had the, not the $5 option, but it was like a few dollars option to have your name in the credits. So you can actually see my name in the credits of some of the Crazy Ken TikTok videos or something like that. But because of my financial situations, I decided to end my Patreon subscription. I also had a YouTube membership subscription too, because I was both a Patreon supporter and a YouTube membership thingery for the computer clan. But I ended all those because of my financial situations at the time and in the later years, but who knows? Maybe I might come back to it one day. Anyways, let's just get back into the video, since we're now back to the main episode, this time with audio. Here we go. Whoa.
What? What's this? Could this be a resurrection? Despite the Molar Mac's death in 1999, Apple introduced a new Mac on April 29th, 2002, which I believe is the spiritual successor to the Molar Mac. Introducing the iMac. And you'll never guess what the E stands for.
What does it mean?
Empanadas. Education. That's right, just like the Molar Mac, the iMac was released exclusively for education customers. And just like the Molar Mac, it was heavy! 50 pounds! Apple's second heaviest all-in-one.
You know, I'm gonna show it to you here yet again. This is the Compaq Presario 4402, or as I like to call it, the ugly Compaq. Or I have a new name for it now. I'm gonna call this Compaq computer the Molar Pack. So that's Molar PAQ. So that's pretty much that. That's my new name I'm calling this thing, because now that I look at it, it almost kind of does look like a tooth from the front, obviously. Because on the side, it's still like one of those like early Compaq all-in-one computers with that little side part. But from the front, it almost kind of looks like a tooth. But this thing weighs about like what, 43 pounds from this computer in 1996. And the iMac right here weighs 50 pounds. But this is 10 pounds lighter than the Molar Mac before it. But this one was about a few pounds lighter than the iMac. Just for comparison, 43 pounds minus 50. The Compaq Presario 4402 weighs 7 pounds less than this thing, but you know. Also, I might be pausing throughout the video, so sorry, I apologize for that, but hey, I just want to get my thoughts already in place. So, let's return to the video.
The iMac's purpose was to be a more affordable iMac G4, selling for $999 instead of $1299. The iMac featured an all-white design with a curvy shape similar to the original iMac. And on the front is a 17-inch flat CRT display with resolutions up to 1280 by 960. For I/O, iMac
Go away. Sorry about that, guys. My family relative just bumped into me. I don't know. They just they did an intervention on me for something, because they just wanted me to close my blinds. But anyway, sorry about that, guys. But I'm gonna revert back here and just continue on. Just forget everything about that happened.
And on the front is a 17-inch flat CRT display with resolutions up to 1280 by 960. For I/O, iMac had audio in and out, 3 USB ports, 2 FireWire 400 ports, a modem jack, 100 meg Ethernet, and mini VGA. You can also add an optional airport card for Wi-Fi. On the front are the speakers, microphone, and, I just love this little door, a CD-ROM drive, which could be upgraded to a DVD-ROM and CD-RW combo drive. For specs, iMac has a 700 or 800 MHz PowerPC G4 processor, 128 megabytes of RAM, upgradable to 1 gig, a 40 gigabyte hard drive, and an NVIDIA GeForce 2 MX for graphics.
By the way, gonna show you a live feed here on this camera again. 3, 2, 1, boom. The AMD Compaq, at this one right here. This one used to have like a GeForce 2 MX, the graphics card in here. I put it in here to replace that Riva TNT2 Model 64 card that's in this system, as well as this was system, but this one had a different card that I put in here. But this one I put a GeForce 2 MX in there, and it worked as well as it was. It's basically like the same type of video card that's in my childhood Compaq, which was a GeForce 2 MX, but I swapped that out. I swapped it out with a AMD, not AMD, ATI Radeon 9100 card in there. Yeah, ATI got bought out by AMD later on, but there's an ATI Radeon card that's in there. It works, but it seems to have a little bit of issues here and there. So I might as well swap it out with another ATI Radeon card, or I might as well just put back the NVIDIA GeForce 2 MX card in there in the system. But anyways, back to the video, shall we?
The hardware, combined with the software Apple included, and they included a lot, made iMac a great value for classrooms, especially at that $9.99 price point.
You know, talking about the iMac, I'm gonna talk about this again. The history with me and the Macs. In my second grade school that I used to went to back in like 2009, 2010-ish or something like that, there was an iMac. There was an iMac at my second grade school that I used to go to, obviously. And they also had a couple of iMacs there too, but that's how I kind of got into like the classic Apple ecosystem, I would kind of say. Because, well, yeah, they had Macs over there for education, pretty much, because yeah, the iMac line was pretty much sold to education customers as well. Obviously, yeah.
Demand for the iMac actually got so high that in June 2002, Apple made it available to the public.
Which they actually reverted their stance on that. They actually reverted track on that. That's how I put it. Later on, I think it was like 04, 05 or something like that, like 2004, 2005. They actually reverted their stance on that and just went back into offering the iMac to exclusively for education customers only yet again. Not sure why they did that, but yeah.
And Apple kept releasing new models for several years, until July 5th, 2006, when they introduced a new $899 17-inch Intel iMac for education customers, thus putting an end to the iMac's glorious 4-year life. Also, this was the end of an era for Apple, because the iMac was the last Apple product to use a CRT display, which Apple used in the Mac line for 22 and a half years, since the beginning. The iMac definitely lasted a lot longer than the Molar Mac, but
it did.
Perhaps the Molar Mac walked, so the iMac could run. So at the beginning of today's episode, I said the Molar Mac meant something to me on a deeper personal level, and I'd like to elaborate on that. In 2017, I was losing interest in retro tech. I know, that might surprise a lot of you. Frankly, at that time, I was already losing interest in it for a few years.
You know, in one of the podcasts that the Computer Clan did, which was called No Cameras Allowed, which you can find on like various other like podcast sites, even on Spotify, he did an episode about collecting vintage Apple computers and vintage Apple Macintoshes. So he mentioned that around 2014, that well, at the time he wanted to downsize his collection because he needed space and he was going to be moving out soon, so he didn't want to lug everything that he has in his collection with him. And also, he did mention that he was kind of losing interest in the retro tech space because at that time he didn't have any donations or whatever, or he didn't buy any of the old retro tech stuff. And at one time, he thought himself of selling his collection, because in between the years 2014, 2015 or something like that, it was that time where Ken just wasn't really interested in the retro tech space at that time. But regardless, for for his old collection, he gathered a bunch of computers, took a picture, posted on Twitter, saying that that he was downsizing his collection and anyone would want his computers for free, and nobody responded, so he just loaded all his old collection up, and it went to an e-waste facility. And you know what happened after that? Kind of regretted recycling those things. But anyways, that's a little bit of a spoiler there, but if you haven't listened to his podcast episodes or something. But anyways, back to the video.
But then, I found this Molar Mac video on YouTube, and it was by Snazzy Labs. This is actually how I discovered Snazzy, and I watched it. I liked the presentation style, and I liked learning about this obscure Mac, and I thought, this is pretty cool, I should make a show about vintage Apple computers. Kind of like what I did back in 2012, but with, you know, more of a budget. And I did. I called it Vintage Apple Vault, and it lasted for a whopping 7 episodes.
That didn't last long. Well, I think that's probably because the Crazy Ken series has got so popular that episodes on the Vintage Apple Vault series was kind of a little bit on the low end side of things. This was also one of the only Computer Clan productions that was produced after the whole Crazy Ken thingamajiggery kind of became the spotlight for the Computer Clan as a whole, pretty much. So, and I guess the series was kind of like stopped in order to put more focus on the Crazy Ken series of videos, but you know what I mean. But anyways, back to the video.
But hey, it won a Telly Award for cinematography. Through the production of that show, I met many awesome people in the community, like Steve from Mac84 and Greg Rucke from Rucke Mods, and many others.
Including Michael MJD, don't forget about that.
And my love for retro technology was completely rejuvenated. And it was all thanks to that spark of inspiration I got from this Snazzy Labs video about the Power Macintosh G3 All-in-One. Hey, you never know who you might inspire when you put your creations out there, right?
That's pretty much what I'm doing right now, showing you a live camera feed. These 2 Compaq systems from my retro computing collection, as of now, pretty much. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically in 2023, in May 19th of 2023, I uploaded the very first video on this YouTube channel, which is about this computer booting up Windows 98 2nd edition. And from there, the rest is history, pretty much. I began making videos about these Compaq systems and pretty much like everything, like, you know, old Windows related videos. Pretty much sound like a little bit of a retro tech computing videos. I mean, these computers are pretty much from the early 2000s, obviously, which at the time, I mean, these computers were already old to the point where they're kind of starting to get a little bit retro, but you know, in the 2010s or even in the 2000s, they were too new to be retro. But starting in the 2020s, these computers are starting to get 20 years old, so it's hard to believe, but they might soon to become retro at this point. But you know, these 2 Compaq computers is kind of what started me making the YouTube channel, partially because I only created this channel back in 2020 just to comment on videos. But anyways, back to the videos, shall we?
So, thank you Snazzy, thank you Molar Mac, and thank you to everyone who has watched my shows and to everyone who has helped make them. And when I make more, I hope to see you all there. Until then, catch the crazy and pass it on.
Now I'm gonna pause here because if you were in this stream, I mentioned that since I was a Patreon supporter and I had that extra dollar option to have your name in the credits, my name would be listed here in this Patreon supporter credits screen. But because I'm not, because of my financial situations, it's not there. But you can see my name in this credits section, and maybe a few other videos as well. Maybe you can even see my Twitter handle in that Bliss History video that I even did a live stream of that, me reacting to it too, which you can probably view on my channel here after this stream, obviously. But you know, but anyways, let's watch the let's watch the post credits sequence, because it's gonna build up some lore on the Crazy Ken universe, I guess. Let's see.
Ooh, I got email. Let's see. Dear Crazy Ken, the signal jammer will
I'm
only
gonna
be
pause here. I'm gonna read this thing all by myself. First, it reads, Dear Crazy Ken, the signal jammer will only be in effect for about 30 seconds, so read this message immediately. For years, I've been trying to break you out of your lair 10 stories underground. The people holding you there against your will are more powerful than I originally thought, and this operation is way behind schedule. Stick to the status quo, but be prepared for future communications and or a visit from me. Sincerely, the delivery man. P.S. In case the signal jammer isn't working, don't read this out loud. Well, sorry, but I'll let Ken read the whole thing here.
in effect for about 30 seconds, so read this message immediately. For years, I've been trying to break you out of your lair 10 stories underground. The people holding you there against your will are more powerful than I originally thought, and this operation is way behind schedule. Stick to the status quo, but be prepared for future communications and or a visit from me. Sincerely, the delivery man. Delivery man. P.S. In case the signal jammer isn't working, don't read this out loud. Oh,
Wow, that was...
I mean, seriously, why wouldn't you put that warning at the top, you son of a...
That was the video, obviously, and you saw how I ended the you saw how I ended the video there. I actually quit out of that. I actually closed out the application, the browser that I opened up. But anyways, yeah, I guess that's about wraps up for this live stream, obviously, because, well, I just had to redo this last part because the last part I just realized that there was no audio. So this is kind of like an appending to that that live stream that I did, because that last part from that live stream had no audio. If you want to know what I'm talking about, I can at least bring up a live replay, obviously, and I'll show you why there's no audio on that last part. So let's see. It was right around... Yeah, it was right around this section here. So, yeah, here. So it's right around this section here where I returned from the BRB thing. And by the way, I made this BRB thingery, like, I whipped it up like just in a few minutes, obviously, when I was setting up this live stream, but you know, this particular live stream is part of the Crazy Ken stuff, but you know, it was part of a Q&A thing. I had to directly quote from that. Anyways, we're back. So let's take a look at what to the audio is going to be the successor to the Molar Mac that only lasted for almost 9 months. Well, let's take a look. Let's resume. Yep, there's no audio there. And I think it goes on to the very, very end. So, yep, there's no audio. By the way, no audio. Yep, there's no audio. It's like dead silence. The delivery man. Yeah, there's really no audio here. Wow. Yeah, it's that one really silent. And look at that, I actually closed out the window. Yeah, that was technically silent. I had the whole desktop audio muted for that whole time that I was viewing the last part. So that's why I had to do this live stream here, this impromptu live stream here, just to kind of like remedy that and kind of append it to this particular live stream here. Anyways, I guess that about finally wraps up that reaction video on the Power Macintosh G3 all-in-one computer by the Computer Clan on Crazy Ken's Tech Talk. Sure, it is an interesting computer. It may look kind of weird, you know, but it's still a pretty stout-looking computer. I could say the same thing too with this particular computer right next to it. This is what I would say the ugly Compaq, but I also gave it a new name called the Molar Mac, because yeah, it almost kind of looks like a giant tooth, because I even have another photo here. This is the one I kind of took off online, but this is looking at it from the front, and I'm gonna compare it to like I'm gonna compare it to this thing right here. It's almost a similar shape. I mean, this one looks more like a tube because it's got the little curves and whatnot, but this one is more like an angular type of tooth, angular tooth-shaped like thingery. And I have a makeshift drawing of a tooth just to compare. Yeah, I don't know, but they're almost like tooth-like form factors, because like this one is more of like an angular tooth-shaped like device, whereas this was more like a tooth-like device. But you know, they're similar all-in-one computers. You know, they're not exact, but you know, it's the same concept, and potentially design-wise, I don't know, because they're almost tooth-shaped looking at the front, but you know. Oh, it's pretty much 10 o'clock now, so I think it's about time that I shall wrap up this live stream. This is obviously going to be the shortest one. It might be the shortest live stream I've ever done. Well, I think the shortest live stream that I've done was, at this point, was the Mario Kart World thingery, which was like 22 minutes. And this thing has been running for about oh, I forgot to I forgot to do my own backup here, but anyways. Oh yeah, this isn't the shortest live stream because it's over 22 minutes. But yeah, I'm pretty much just doing this live stream for myself, just to kind of like append the missing audio to that previous live stream. Anyways, it's kind of pointless. It's a pointless live stream here. If anyone's watching this in a replay or something, just go watch the first live stream on this thing, and then watch this after I go the BRB on the near the last part section, if you know what I mean, you know. But anyways, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll leave you here with me starting up this Intel Compaq here. Feels like I need to do something. And why is there like a there's like a whining noise coming from my sorry about that. It's it's not really going that well, eh? Oh, and I lost connection to the I lost connection to the camera. What a start for this thing. That means I had to reconnect the source, and then disconnect, and then reconnect. Oh, and I lost connection again. What's up with this thing? Always starting to have problems. It's almost like the Crazy Ken curse trying to attack me, but you know, in the spirit of the Crazy Ken's tech misadventures or something like that. But anyways, reactivate. There we go. And I'm gonna focus the camera here. Yeah, I'm gonna do camera focus. And I lost connection yet again. Why is that? Yeah, I lost connection. This thing is this USB-C thing, this USB cable's finicky. Why is that? I got to deactivate it. And sorry, we are having technical difficulties here. Unfortunately, I don't have a technical difficulties card to put up there. But oh goodness gracious, do I really have? Yeah, I don't have a card. I don't have a card set up for the technical difficulties thingery, but because I had it set to like error, that's how I named it as. But I don't have a card set up, so because I'm having issues with the USB-C thingery, the cable that is. All right, there we go. Hopefully nothing will go wrong here. Crazy Ken curse kind of struck us a bit, but anyways, go to Windows 98 and flicker warning. Just put my hand over this Windows 98 thingery here. You know, because I'm actually using this camera that I bought at like I think it was like a liquidation store or something like that a while ago. I can use it as a webcam, but you know, it does have limitations. So right now I'm using it as like a webcam, but because I cannot change shutter speed or anything when it's in webcam mode, that's kind of a little bit of a downer, since even other webcams will let you adjust it, even Logitech ones too. And even for my built-in webcam that I have on my laptop here. But anyways, I'm gonna do focus here. Yeah, it's on autofocus. It's already on focus to this thing, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit escape. I'm gonna end it at like 30 minutes, so just show you a little bit. Yeah, basically what I got, this is what I got. Windows 98 2nd edition. I think I pretty much used Windows 98 most of the time here. Sometimes Windows 1000 XP and whatnot. But I kind of use this because like I have 2 games on here that I kind of played on. Age of Empires 2 and its Conqueror's expansion, obviously. Because I played Age of Empires 2 back in the day, in the late 2000s. Even though it came out in like what? The early 2000s, maybe late 90s. This one came out in like the late 90s, and this one came out in like early 2000s. But anyways, now I'm going to go ahead and shut her on down. By the way, the background is from the Kudo-chan, Cyborg Kudo-chan manga and anime series. Very obscure one, in fact. The background was not made by me, but I used it as a background wallpaper just because. And I'm going to turn off the monitor and the speakers. And I guess that'll be about it for today. So, I guess with all that, I would like to thank you all guys for watching this live stream, whether you're watching this live stream or not, especially the replay, because you can obviously still view these live streams as a replay. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching this live stream, whether you're watching this or not, and I hope to see you all